Matthew Martin, and the news is good. Tonight, Jesus defended himself. I am standing in the auditorium of the Vilonia Church of Christ. I'm very excited to preach this coming Lord's Day. The sermon is the continuation of our theme for the year, which is Do What Jesus Did. And in this particular sermon, we're looking at Jesus defended himself. He did not do so angrily. He did not do so rashly. He didn't do so violently. But he did defend himself. When challenged, he rose to the occasion. He didn't always defend himself. He didn't always answer every accusation made against him. But when the time was appropriate, Jesus was not going to let an accusation against him stand without some degree of answering, whether in that exact moment or by deferring back to something he had done in the past. And so we're going to look at three specific challenges that have been made against Jesus, that were made against Jesus during his ministry, and to see the way that Jesus answered them. One way in which Jesus was challenged was in the matter of his identity. Jesus' identity as the son of David was called into question in Matthew 22, 41 through 46, where Jesus identifies himself as the son of David, and the Pharisees say, "Oh, that's blasphemy. You don't have the right to do that." And Jesus says, well, David calls the Messiah Lord. Who is he talking about? And then he ties that around to say he is the Messiah, he is the Lord of David, and yet he is also the son of David. He is the descendant of David who was the forebearer of David at the same time, the God-man, occupying both those roles. We'll talk about that in more detail, but that's one of them, how he defends his identity. Another is he defends his theology in Luke chapter 6 and also in Mark chapter 3, when he heals a man on the Sabbath, and the Pharisees raise a big kerfuffle, and they say, "You don't have the right to heal on the Sabbath. That's work. You can't do work on the Sabbath." And Jesus says, well, is it okay to do good things on the Sabbath or not? Is it lawful to do good or evil? And forcing them to have to conclude, well, if you must do one, you must do good. And Jesus said, well, I must come and do good. So I've come to do good to this guy. I don't care what day of the week it is, because the Father continues to work on the Sabbath, and so will the Son of the Father work on the Sabbath. So he challenges, he pushes back against the accusation that he doesn't have the right to help somebody on the Sabbath. That is not at all what the law says, and Jesus answers that. And then finally, Jesus answers an accusation against his authority after he casts out some demons from an individual. And the Pharisees, of course, raise a stink, and they say, well, this guy doesn't actually have power. He's only casting out demons by Beelzebub, the prince of the demons. Mark chapter 3, 22 through 27. And Jesus says, why would Satan cast out Satan? Why would Satan work against Satan? That doesn't make any sense. Satan doesn't have the authority to cast out Satan. God has the authority to cast out Satan. So if I am casting out devils, if I'm casting out demons, if I'm casting out the minions of the devil, that means that I have the authority that you claim that I do not have. So that's the first half of the sermon. Jesus defending his identity, his theology, and his authority. But remember, the theme of the week, or rather the theme of the year, is do what Jesus did. So we're going to start by looking at what Jesus did, and then spin it around and say, now, how do I take that for myself? How do I apply that to myself? In what way do I defend the identity and theology and authority of Jesus? I do so, and we're going to look at this by looking at the three ways in which the word Christian appears in the Bible, each one of which ties into our need to defend Christian identity, Christian theology, and Christian authority. I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do. You got to come to the sermon on Sunday to find out, but that's the sermon in a nutshell. I hope to see you this Lord's Day of Vilonia. God bless. I hope you've had a great day today. My prayer for you as we start to wind this day down is that you have a good church home. Now, obviously, if you're within a reasonable driving distance, I hope that's Vilonia. But if it is not, I hope wherever you are, there is somewhere close where you can go, where you are loved, where you are supported, where you are encouraged, where you're challenged, where you are called out when you've done wrong, where you are lifted up when you fall down, and where you are led by good and godly elders who love you, shepherds who want to guide you and help your soul reach its fullest potential in Jesus, where the Word of God is taught to you with vigor and with truth and with a desire to see your soul not only be saved, but to grow in salvation and to grow in faith and knowledge, and where you find yourself with other Christians who want to help you and want you to help them be as close to God as they possibly can be. That's what a good church home looks like. I hope you have one. If you are anywhere close to the Vilonia Church of Christ, I hope you will give us a chance to be that for you. We are that for all of our members here, but we want to have that be the case for you too, if it is not already. And if you are a member of the Vilonia Church of Christ, but you still feel distant, you feel detached, you feel like you're not as close as you should be to God or to each other, well, we want to help you with that as well. We don't want anybody to feel isolated or left out. And if we have dropped the ball and that is the case and you feel that way and it's because of us, well, give us the chance to do better. Letting us know how we can help you is the best way to do that. That's my prayer for you today. Find yourself a good church home, someone who will help you and you can help them draw closer to God. Have a great day. God bless.